Hey guys, I got my amazing wife from VisionCityArt.com, my partner in crime in the music business, marketing, and we're going to be diving into art design and marketing and all the campaigns and things we do
sure.
about stuff. And, we just finished a Kickstarter, so that's just fresh on my mind. Let's dive into the album stuff. But you created a lot of different assets for that, and we do for every song.
Yeah.
Whether it's Instagram.
Well, yeah, everything kind of starts around, obviously, the cover.
Yeah.
So whether it's an album cover or a single cover,
Mm-hmm.
that becomes like the concept.
Yes.
And then it's all about really like expanding that into like everywhere online.
Yeah.
So whether it's going to be like, headers on social media or posts or, even in different parts of different videos and stuff, it's all kind of works together.
Yeah, and I think about like sometimes you'll illustrate stuff. Sometimes you'll take the photo. Sometimes you'll buy the photo. You'll source it.
Yeah, sometimes we find something online that really works awesome, and we can actually source it, and it's commercial usage type thing. Or sometimes we even hire an illustrator, like in the case of I Run with Wolves. We found this incredible artist, and he was doing a couple shirts for us, and it was just like this really dramatic style.
Mm-hmm.
So we asked him to do some sketches for the Wolves, and he killed it.
Yeah. So. I love the illustration you did. Well, I don't know if it's illustration, but for Teardrops coming up.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that is the cover is done.
Yeah.
The song is submitted, and it's going to come out in May. And I haven't even bugged you to do all those assets yet.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it's coming though.
Yeah. But let's talk about the stages, because there's first the cover. You're right. Everything comes from that. And then I think you even got a shirt. We got a shirt ready for that.
Yeah.
Too,
so whenever I'm designing a cover, usually, I always try and think of it like, how is this going to become a shirt?
Right.
Because music is sold in lots of ways. And one of the ways that it's sold as far as like the brand, because it's not just about the song, obviously doing streaming and all that, but the actual products that you can create from that song.
Right.
So like we create shirts, we might create hats, we might create, a poster that's signed.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of these things can be printed on demand, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So
I'm always thinking about how to make an album or a single cover into a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's always in my mind.
Yeah.
So I like to work that way.
And print on demand, guys, for those that don't know, that's where, because we used to always, when we wanted to test a new design, we'd have to print like 20, 30 shirts at least.
Yeah, which puts the risk on our shoulders, right? So like, instead of screen printing t-shirts, usually you have to do like at least 100, 120 at a time. Yeah. But with a print on demand, you just upload the artwork to a print on demand, platform. Yeah. Like Printful, for example, and we then, get them printed one at a time when they're ordered.
And the file that you give me is like a PNG, right?
Yeah, so a PNG file is when, the actual background of the image is transparent.
Okay.
So say, for example, you have, I don't know, like a rose or something. Like I'm just, for example.
Yeah.
And then everything around the rose, like even in between, the elements in between the rose, those are all see-through, so you can put it on any color t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
That's what you did for Renegade, for that Renegade Doug Weir remix. You illustrated the kind of tiger lion face.
Yeah.
That was the artwork, and then you gave me a certain file that I could put on t-shirts, hoodies.
Yeah, and it's really like foolproof. So like I like it because, even other artists that I've worked for, it's like I can literally send it to them and say, this is the file you upload, and you really can't mess it up. Yeah. Like you're going to upload it, it's going to fit on the shirt, it's going to fit on a hat or whatever. Yeah. And these platforms have made it a bit easier for us, so anybody can kind of do it.
Yeah, I love that. And like, I feel like there's 3 stages of promotion, and so there's 3 different stages of art that I need from you. We started with the cover, but then I'm normally like, hey, pre-save or coming soon. Yeah. And so you're changing that up. And then available now, download now.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's different sections. So there's the initial concept stage where you're actually like designing the art. What's this whole thing going to look like? Yeah. And then based on that being approved, then we create the other assets. So like we create, the coming soon, pre-save now posts, whether it be like on stories or like Instagram stories or on like Instagram posts, for example. Right. And then all the banners have to change. And it's like on the stroke of midnight or whenever that song comes out or that album comes out, everything changes.
Right.
So we kind of do it like all of it changes at one time. And then that way, no matter where you are online, where people are kind of seeing you online, they know there's something new happening.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool because I like to create an entire set. So it's not just like, oh, here's a cool cover. Awesome. Good luck. Yeah. You know, it kind of equips like an artist like yourself or anyone to kind of show up everywhere online. Like
right now, we just finished the Kickstarter campaign. And so now we got to change this for Gravity Falls. I need banners, by the way, for that. And we have the cover, and that's all figured out. And we also gave that cover to our video editor to use even in the
like as a reference point, right? So it kind of like, you know, shows other people on the team, this is the direction we're going in. So it's not just one part, it's the whole piece of the pie changes. Yeah. And what I was just thinking about, because like we did, when we released this album, we had the album because that was the first song, I Run With Wolves, and so we have that cover. But then we released another song, and it had more songs on it, but we kept the cover the same. But now we're deciding for the rest of the singles that are coming out, we're doing different covers for them. Yeah, and it's kind of cool because, say for example, you have a whole album of songs. Then all the songs on that album are going to look like they have the same cover on Spotify. Yeah. But when you're announcing it on social media, you don't want to have the exact same cover showing up over and over again. Right. It's cool to kind of brand each song. Yeah. We have found, and I think you can attest to this, the more we pay attention to each song, and it's almost like a mini launch for each song. Yeah. So then it's like giving a huge splash of attention. Because honestly, like I remember Grant Cardone says this, like wherever you're keeping someone's attention, that's where you're going to get, you know, the sales or the streams. You have to keep people's attention. That's what marketing's all about. Yeah, I have to keep talking about stuff. Yeah, you have to keep going, okay, now this is new. Now this is new. Now this is happening. Now this, it's like you're sharing behind the scenes. You're sharing all these different aspects of it, but it's all to do with each song. Yeah. And to make each song its own mini launch. I think that's actually really cool. And that's what you've helped me to do is like creating these little mini campaigns. Yeah. Within the album. Yeah. Because I think otherwise they get kind of design fatigue or they just keep seeing the same thing. It's not new. Our brains have changed, right? Like people, the way that we see the world has changed so much, even in the last couple of years. Like to say that we're overloaded with imagery and with ideas is like an understatement. Yeah. And so you have to kind of keep people's attention by interrupting them. Right. And although it sounds like, oh, I don't want to interrupt people, I don't want to bother anybody. But if you don't, nobody's going to see it. And in marketing, people have to see things 7 times before they even know it's there, which is so annoying in some ways. But let's just settle it and move on because you have to create basically several really cool pieces. Yeah. So that people even know this is happening because they have their own lives going on. They have kids. They have family. They're going to school. They have their own lives. So we have to kind of interrupt and be like, hey, we're doing something over here. Yeah. You know? And so I'll take some of the images that you gave me, whether it's the square ones, I'll add audio to them. All those IG posts you did with all those featuring the different artists that you created. Yeah. And they all had different photos. And you know what's interesting too, we had a different feature of the artist, so they had their own photo, but then you changed my photo even each time. Yeah. Just to give it that extra difference because the layout was the same, right? Well, yeah, and that was kind of almost creating a template. You're talking about when we did like the feature mini posters. Yeah. We're calling them for the Instagram stories. Yeah. So every single feature on the I Run With Wolves album was literally like its own little announcement. Right. And I think that was cool. It was also shareable. Yeah. So think about if you're working with an artist and you want to connect to their audience, how can you create something that they can share? Yeah. That's really powerful too. And it just gives them something to share. They don't have to do any extra work. Right. They've got busy lives, you know, they're working on their songs or whatever. So something they can just actually repost. And I would add audio to these. And you know what's amazing? You know, I don't know which one is going to generate sales. Yeah. But now I do know that the fact that I had content and you kept on giving me stuff and we kept on hammering it and talking about it, the sales kept on coming in. Yeah, and the Spotify numbers went up. And so it's really important to keep on hitting it. And we're doing something a little bit unusual. I think it's semi-new, which is to release each song individually and do these mini releases. And I know you talk about this a lot with people in the smart music business, right?
Yeah.
And, really to make a big fuss over every single single.
Yeah.
Not to be like, here's the album, cool, enjoy the songs.
Yeah.
That's awesome, but that's only one announcement.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. So.
Yeah, you got to make a ruckus. And guys, I talk about this in the music marketing and promotions guide. Go to smartmusicbusiness.com/free book. And you can get a free copy. Just cover the shipping, or just go to smartmusicbusiness.com/book and you can download the digital version. But really, I talk about in there creating tons of assets, just like how Hollywood creates trailers and teasers and all these different things. This is what you're helping me to do.
Yeah, like if there's a huge, Matt Damon movie coming out, like there's going to be posters up, there's going to be, when you go into the theater, you're going to know it's happening, right? It's visually going to be everywhere. There's going to be huge posters, there's going to be trailers, there's going to be multiple trailers in most cases. There's going to be a lot of different things. There's going to be interviews he's done, there's going to be, you know what I mean? Like, think about it that way. Like, you're putting out a movie, or you're putting out something big. How do you get everyone's attention about it?
Creating buzz, as they used to say.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I told you that I did create a trailer for, or a teaser for the lyric videos now, before they come out.
Yeah.
And it's, people are like, oh, I can't wait to get this. I can't wait to get this. And, and I'm even, saying, hey, guys, you can download this now off our site, or pre-save it. And all these little actions, little things, just remind people and get them excited about it.
Yeah, and like people like to look forward to something. So even that, like I love that. Even creating a teaser for your music video or like a teaser for your lyric video, because then it's like something else to look forward to. Like, oh cool, that thing's happening in like 2 days. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
So, or like, this Friday, this cool song's coming out,
And people don't have to do any of this stuff. They don't have to do all this hard work if they don't want results. They, know. And
that's the honest truth. It's totally work. It's not like,
it's an investment.
I think people start to make music and even art for the fact that it's fun and they enjoy it. But that's only a part of this whole like career idea, and it's really about putting all the work in. If you want to actually see it succeed.
Right.
Because, I remember hearing, I think it was like at a marketing thing, it was sort of like, if you actually believe that much in your product, you're going to put 1,000% into it, because you actually believe it's going to help people's lives to get this thing. Yeah. And so it's not just, the motivation has to be, I know my music's going to really, bless somebody, or like it's going to be a huge impact on them positively, or it's going to they're going to jam to it. They're just going to love it,
You believe in it.
You believe in it, yeah.
Like, we didn't even talk about the quote cards that you created for me, lyric cards, all that stuff. And you even tell me, like, you've told me off, like, you're like, hey, I just created this sick arse cover for you and whatever. Go promote it. Like, don't talk to me about,
making me sound bad.
No, but you tell me off in a good way, which is like market. Because I'm always telling, people watching this, like, dude, like, just because you've heard it doesn't mean everybody else has heard it. And like, even an old song, they could hire you or whoever, create a whole bunch of assets and breathe new life into an old song, put a campaign around it.
Yeah, just because you know your song doesn't mean anybody else does. Like, you could have written a song 5 years ago, and you like think it's cool, and you it did well in live concerts or whatever, and then life's gone on, and you're like, yeah, that was cool, but like you can reignite things, I mean, we've even had old songs get into like films and movies and video games and stuff, and we're like, oh wow, that's so weird. Like, why would they choose that old song? But nobody knows it's an old song. Yeah. Like, we're the only ones that know that. So I think breathing new life into old songs, even just kind of rebranding it, bringing it a new spin on it, put out a new T-shirt with it on, something to kind of bring excitement. Yeah. Even like revisit songs that were huge. So like maybe a song did a really big breakthrough for you. Yeah. Do like a remix of it or something. Yeah. Like, I mean, now I'm talking about more into the art side, like the music art side, but it's like there's lots of ways to rebreathe life into things. Yeah. Yeah, well, and we need to do that for Impossible, No Plan B, and we have with No Plan B. I don't think we've ever actually done an Impossible shirt. That'd be pretty cool. Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Because I think back then we weren't really thinking about it this way. Right. But it's because the world was different. Yeah. Like, we weren't in such a tug of war for attention. Right. Back then it was like, I feel like Instagram and all that was just getting started. So. Right. Yeah, we have the opportunity. And again, it's like feeding the beast. Feeding the content out there. Like, it's like, I think last night I even said to you, I'm like, I took the time, came down here,
did a little promotion on something, talked about something, and I got sales. Imagine
yeah, we're
that.
watching the Super Bowl and you kept checking your phone. You're like, boom, boom, you know, and that was kind of fun. But it's if you put the effort in, then you can get it. And as you're talking, I was thinking like some band members or artists might be like, man, I hate doing this stuff though.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do this, and I've totally been there. But maybe even finding somebody who can be on your team,
Yeah.
or maybe somebody a little bit outside of your team who just loves this stuff. They like live online, to be a partner with you and help you out. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or there's always one like techie, person on each band. It's sort of like the one guitarist is like the tech guy.
Yeah.
But maybe in this case it could be somebody who's just passionate about this stuff.
Yeah, but I love creating the art with you and all that stuff, and that's like some of my favorite stuff. It's almost as, just like getting a new song back and seeing what visuals, you come up with in a campaign. And guys, again, if you need a campaign, you need something put together, go to visioncityart.com and Mel can help and strategize with you and put together an awesome campaign and do your art, whether it's, an album cover or a series of single artwork, and how to like really launch it right, give them all the assets they need so that you can launch it. This is just what we do. We breathe, eat, and sleep this stuff. And what's neat and what I feel like we've gotten into, and don't get discouraged if you're not here yet, but like I feel like we've gotten into a good rhythm, and I'm just releasing more music for one, which is great, but you start to get the systems, and it might be scary for some people because they've never done it before.
Yeah. It could just be one song, maybe it's just one, even a cover you're releasing or something. It could be just one really cool song you're really proud of, and you want to put it out. You want to put it out into the world, Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Go to visioncityart.com. Again, make sure you get the music marketing and promotions guide. You can even get it on Audible. Listen to it. Get inspired. But most importantly, take action.